Welcome back to the Mansplaining Mike Show, the show where we dive deep into politics, and today we're peeling back the layers of a Supreme Court decision that's been rippling through the United States. We are going to explore how a Supreme Court decision could eradicate federal agencies. It all started with a case you've probably never heard of, West Virginia v. EPA. The Supreme Court dropped a bombshell ruling that the Environmental Protection Agency overstepped its authority. The EPA wanted to enforce emission caps, but the court said, hold on, you need clear congressional authorization for that. The court's message was loud and clear. Federal agencies can't just make major moves without Congress saying so. And that's where the ATF might start sweating. If they're pushing boundaries without explicit approval from Congress, they could be facing some serious legal challenges, and rightfully so. Now let's get one thing straight. The Supreme Court's decision doesn't mean the ATF is packing up shop tomorrow, but it does set a precedent. It's like a warning sign saying, tread carefully or you might just find yourself in court. So what's next for the ATF? Well, it's a mix of politics, legal battles, and waiting to see how Congress reacts. One thing's for sure though, the landscape for federal agencies just got a whole lot more tumultuous. If anything else unfolds that might affect our gun rights, I will definitely be bringing it up. It's time for all of us to let this government know to not tread on us. It's time for us to start waking up and fighting back. I mean peacefully though. I don't want the FBI to kick my door in. Also, we're going to get into the border crisis because some illegals have just murdered a 12-year-old girl named Jocelyn Nungary in Houston. Two Hispanic illegals are now being charged with capital murder. Jocelyn's blood is on Mayorkas' hands and Joe Biden's hands, and Trump brought it up tonight. They're not doing anything at all to protect our border. Her body was found in a creek. Two Venezuelans had murdered her. Franklin Pena, 26, is set to appear in court Monday morning as one of the men charged in the murder of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungary. Pena, along with 22-year-old Johan Jose Martinez Rangel, faces charges of capital murder in this tragic case. They're completing a rape kit as well to see if they molested the 12-year-old girl. Suspects were seen meeting the victim, talking for a few seconds, and later they walked to a convenience store. After a few minutes, they walked to a bridge where ultimately Jocelyn was murdered. They're acting like they don't know in the media whether or not these men were here illegally. So we can guess pretty much clearly that these men are definitely illegals. It wouldn't be hard to find out if somebody was a citizen. There's reports that she was raped and that she was found with her arms and feet tied up and bound. She was also undressed, according to some reports. They're trying not to admit that these men are illegals. I specifically said they are illegal because if they weren't illegal, they would have social security numbers and they would be able to look them up automatically. They just don't want people to get upset that Joe Biden is letting all these illegals into our country. If there's any updates about the story or any more about the rape, I'll definitely let you guys know. But for now, we're going to move on to Governor Katie Hobbs because she's been in the news lately after a Maricopa County judge ruled against her in a case involving the appointment of state agency directors. Let's break down what happened and what that means. This all started when Katie Hobbs appointed 13 people as deputy directors to run state agencies. The problem was the Senate had not confirmed her picks. Judge Scott Blaney said that while the Governor Hobbs was arguably within her powers to withdraw the names of her nominees, she crossed the line by giving these deputies the same duties and powers as Senate-confirmed directors, said Judge Scott Blaney. The judge also said that this was a violation of Arizona state law, stating that the governor willfully circumvented the statutory process and eliminated legislative oversight from its executive role. This is what's supposed to happen. This is how checks and balances are supposed to work within a working constitutional republic. For those that don't know, that's the kind of government that we have here in America. We're not a democracy and we were never supposed to be. Governor Hobbs says she plans to appeal this ruling, but I highly doubt that this would fall in her favor, just to be honest with you. As this case unfolds, I'll try to keep you guys updated with anything I hear about it. There was also a story about some migrants being tortured and raped. There were over 12 illegals that needed saving from a stash house in Mexico, near the Texas border. After being tortured and raped, this open border isn't working out well for us or for the illegals at this point. You would think President Biden would work to save illegals from rape. I mean, I don't really think he cares much for Americans, but maybe he'll care about the foreigners. U.S. and Mexican authorities had conducted the rescue together. I wish they'd work with us on the border. They did when Trump was in charge. It doesn't seem like they respect Joe Biden too much. These raids happened after two illegals had surrendered to Border Patrol agents on June 8th in Santa Teresa, New Mexico. According to information obtained by Border Patrol, they reported being held at a house in Juarez, Mexico, claimed to be beaten and burned. I think we have some photos you can see on the screen. Investigations led investigators to a structure in Anapra, a slum in Juarez, that sits across from Sunland Park, New Mexico. The people rescued also had burns and broken bones, ligature marks, and bruising from the beatings. Females had been raped, they were hardly fed, and they were forced to drink water from a toilet. 4 of the migrants were hospitalized from their injuries. Six suspects, which included 2 minors, were arrested on a variety of charges, included kidnapping, sexual assault, and weapons and drug offenses. There were also claims made of 2 murders in the house, prompting a search for bodies. I'll let you know if I hear anything about the murders or if any bodies are found. The next story we're going to get into was from the Daily Mail. It's about Epstein being an agent of the Mossad. I think it's important that we point out that Israel is connected to a lot of these allegations of sexual crimes in America. Jeffrey Epstein had boasted about being a Mossad agent, like Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert, according to bombshell claims from an ex-girlfriend. Epstein had supposedly bragged about being a Mossad agent to her, just like Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert, and claims made from a former girlfriend of the now dead pedophile. The reason this information is coming to light is former girlfriend of the disgraced financier is suing his estate over claims that he raped her at his New York mansion and claimed that he was an Israeli spy for the Mossad. His ex from California is referred to as Jane Doe 200. She filed the lawsuit in Manhattan federal court on Monday and claims she met Epstein in Los Angeles in the year 2000. She said the late pedophile suggested he was a Mossad agent, like Maxwell's father Robert was. He warned that it was not good to be Epstein's enemy. She claimed their relationship was mutual before it became romantic, and later the pedo sexually assaulted her at his Upper East Side home in the fall of 2001. The woman has named the co-executors of Epstein's estate, Darren Indyke and Richard Kahn, as defendants, and says that she suffered battery and intentionally inflicted emotional distress. She also said that Epstein and Maxwell hinted he was an agent for the Israeli Mossad, just like her father. Both men are Jewish, and both of them donated heavily to Israel. Probably because Israel doesn't extradite men for pedophilia, or women either. It became pretty obvious to Jane Doe that Epstein was not only extremely wealthy, but also extremely well connected, more so than all of the other powerful men with whom he associated. That's what the lawsuit states. Despite being in a committed relationship, often spending nearly around-the-clock time together, what Epstein did for work was not clear. Not to her, at least. The rest of us, we understand that he was peddling in blackmail and children. Robert Maxwell, a British newspaper mogul, is alleged to have been a Mossad agent, although he denied this furiously and regularly issued legal threats to people who would make these claims. But his shocking death, in which he fell from his $26.5 million yacht named Lady Ghislaine somewhere off of the coast of Spain in 1991, brought rumors of an assassination or the possibility of a suicide. But anybody with common sense knows suicide sounds crazy. People with that kind of money, they don't just commit suicide. I mean, he had so much play money that he was able to buy a $26.5 million yacht. Those aren't the type of people that generally decide to kill themselves. Um, we have another exclusive after this with Rumble. And I think as far as the murder of Robert Maxwell goes, we should probably look at the Mossad or the Clintons, because those are the people that generally kill their enemies. But hopefully I can catch you guys on Rumble after this. I hope you tune in, and I'll see you guys later.